This is Gary Atencio with CNTV, and today we're in Colorado. I am here with Jen Porter. Since 2017, she's provided leadership coaching, helping you deliver stronger results while finding increased levels of confidence, joy, and fulfillment. I'm joined here with the certified leadership coach. Jen, thanks so much for joining us here today.
It's great to be here. Thank you.
I'm going to start off a little bit about yourself. You began your professional coaching over 6 years ago after much experience in the recruiting and staffing sector for multiple companies, including Microsoft. You have volunteered your time for those less fortunate in other countries. You now help really radiant leaders do life-changing work. Share with me a little bit about your past that got you here today.
Yeah, the first 20 years of my career I spent helping companies and nonprofits and ministries build strong, effective teams. And as I was pulled into leadership roles myself, what I realized is that the thing I loved more than anything else was developing my team. I loved pouring into the team and watching them shine and do things that they once thought was impossible. And when I looked more closely at that, I realized it was coaching. I did a Strengths Finders assessment. Natural coach, developer is one of my top 5. I have also been coached for many years of my life, and I've been able to do things professionally and personally that I would not have been able to do without the help of my coach. And so I really decided that I wanted to do that for others. So I got certified and started my business in 2017.
You're a result of the product. You know
Exactly.
it works. You know exactly it works.
Yeah.
A team looks to a leader. A company looks to a leader. Even a family looks to their leaders. Is being a leader tough today? Maybe even more so than it was way back in the day when you were doing it?
I think it's very tough. I think we're also all leaders in some capacity. I think leadership is probably harder than it's ever been. The responsibilities, the pressure, the pace of work is just getting bigger and bigger. And the burden that our leaders feel is great. And we're in really complex structures and institutions and social dynamics that make it really challenging.
I believe that people are almost asking more of us all the time, and we have to rise up to that occasion. Leadership is demanding. It requires time, energy, and really creative strategies. How can a transformative coach like yourself help with those demands?
People come to me because they're stuck. They're frustrated. They have reached a certain point where they can't find that way forward, and they know that there's more. And so they're coming to me looking for some guidance and some clarity to figure out, how do I get to a better place? This is not working for me right now. And so I work with individuals to help them figure out, okay, what exactly do we want to work on? What are your goals, and what do you want to achieve, and how do you want to be different as a result of the coaching? And then we partner together and figure out what are the tools and strategies that are going to help you overcome your current challenges, but then start to grow and think about, okay, what is your long-term vision? Where do you want to be in 5 or 10 years? And how do we create a roadmap to help you get there?
That's exciting. I know for myself, building a company, leaders get frustrated. They're overwhelmed. I've always said I've never given up, but I have thought about it many times. Is it common to kind of question if it's even worth it anymore? Is that something you find?
Yeah. I find that people are overworked. There's a lot of burnout, and it's amazing how the human spirit and the human body, what it can endure, because we keep going and we keep pressing forward and we keep persevering, and yet we aren't always in the healthiest place. And so what I do is I help people figure out what do they want to be different, and then how do we create healthier rhythms for you? How do we create clear boundaries so that you're able to access more of what you really want while getting better outcomes in your work and in your life? And so it really is a matter of figuring out exactly what do we want to work on, and then take it step by step so that they can experience the relief and more fulfillment and just a healthier lifestyle that works better for them and their families.
So focusing and really kind of simplifying. As people begin to question their value, maybe even doubt whether they have what it takes to be a leader, do we sometimes make leadership way more complicated than it needs to be?
That is probably true. Yes, we make it more complicated. I think what you're bringing up too makes me think about the insecurities that come up. And so a lot of the women that I'm working with, confidence is always going to come up in the conversation. I'm always working with women on three things: clarity, communication, and confidence. And that confidence piece, we all have areas of insecurity that are really holding us back. And so oftentimes we're trying to hide those insecurities. We don't want to expose those and have people know about it. And yet, if we aren't able to look at it honestly, we're not able to make the growth that we really want. And so what I aim to do is create a really safe space for clients to be honest about who they are, what those struggles are, and I create a bold space too, where they can be challenged, where they can step into a new level of boldness that they didn't have before. And it's so empowering. You could see the change happen even in the session.
I like that balance. We're talking a safe place, yet a bold place, because one without the other, I'm just feeding off somebody. There's not much. I want to be challenged. I want you to tell me, hey, you need to kick up. I like that. With your programs, you found an easier, more natural way to be successful. Who is your Elevated Leader program really designed to help? I mean, who is that target, ambitious leader you're looking for?
Yeah, most of the women that are coming to me are ambitious leaders who have reached a level of success in their careers, but they've plateaued in some ways. And they're looking for the higher levels of impact and meaningful work. And so they're looking for new strategies and tools to be able to access those higher levels. What I find is that we often rely on the tools and strategies that we've been using for decades. Those things have gotten us to where we are today. They're often not the things that are going to get us to the next level. And so I do a lot of work helping to figure out what are the strategies that you want to try. Let's see what's going to uniquely work for you, because it's not a formula at all. I do a lot of work around language. So communication, we've been communicating, in the same ways for many years. And so it's helping people find a new language to get new outcomes. And it requires showing up a little bit differently. But it's often really empowering when they're able to adjust their language. And, some people call it executive presence. It's the way in which we show up that gets different outcomes.
Change is always required. People don't like change, and yet it's dangerous to say this is the way I've always done it. You're only going to get what you always got. So, that's important. Your program deepens confidence. It expands your impact in many areas. So in turn, does this create more satisfaction in your work and in your life? What have the results kind of been when people with you?
Yeah. So to me, the work is all about empowering my clients. And, in order to make any kind of change, we have to feel like we have it within us to make that change. And so we have to be empowered. I find that powerlessness is one of the worst feelings in the world for the human psyche. And so a lot of times we do feel like a victim. We feel like we're out of control, that things are outside of our control and our influence. And so once we realize that we actually have more power than we ever realized, that's when we start to step into things with more confidence. So it's empowerment and then confidence.
Interesting.
And what I find as outcomes is there's a stronger foundation for them to stand on to move forward. So whereas it felt a little shaky before, they were unsure of themselves, now that foundation is really strong and they can step firmly on it and do things that they were afraid to do before.
You not only empower people, but you really empower others to live their values. Why is finding your core identity really step number one to ensure you are leading from your true essence and not someone else's expectations?
Yeah, it's so important. It always starts with our identity, because our own understanding of self is going to dictate our behavior. We're going to act as what we believe about ourselves. And often we're disconnected from who we truly are. We're not disconnected from what we do. We're really aware of that. But when it comes to who am I, what are my strengths, what are my values, what do I bring to the world uniquely? And once we understand that, then when you can build your life and career around that and there's alignment, deep satisfaction, great fulfillment comes. It's when those values are out of alignment with the way that we're operating in our world that creates tension and conflict.
So really it's true when people are saying there's got to be more. Many times that's the more they're talking about is I'm not leading from who I am. During phase 2 of your program, is this where the real transformation takes place? As they kind of shift their mindset, overcome their fears, and truly cast a new vision for their life? Tell us about that part of the process.
Yeah, after the core identity phase is the transformation phase. And this is where they're trying on new behaviors, new results, they're trying out tools, and they're figuring out what's going to work, what's really going to help them have the success that they need. And so they're implementing what we're working on in our sessions, in between sessions. And so then they come back and we say, how did it go? What did you learn? What went well? And then what happens is they're able to build their success tools.
Interesting. Speaking of tools, once you deep dive and you now know who you are and then line up your thinking kind of to that vision, the last step is actually being equipped and using the tools that you provide them and actually apply what they've learned. Is this kind of where the impact can really start to be seen?
I would say the impact is seen right away because people are changed as a result of each session, and they're making progress all along the way. The last phase is really about how do you create a roadmap that's going to help you get to where you really want to be long term. And so once we get through the blocking and tackling of what's right in front of us, then we look to the future and say, okay, where do I want to go to next? And how do I get there? What are the things that I need to support me on that journey? And so then it opens up clients to greater possibilities for their lives and their work.
So you see the results kind of quickly through each phase, and then obviously ultimately it's the impact that they intended to do. I mean, Jen, your work is laser focused on empowering others to deepen their confidence and step into higher levels of leadership. You believe that we're all created really for more. We all can use coaching, and not just the leaders, but we're all leaders in a certain way. Is this work rewarding for you?
Oh, this is the most fun work I've ever done in my life. I've always really enjoyed my work, but this is the best job that I've ever had because I get to work with people and help them move through their own transformation that literally changes their lives.
Yeah.
We should all be changed as a result of coaching. And so one of the things that's interesting, people have goals that they come to me with. They have expectations of what they're going to get. And they get those things, but they also get more. And so one of the things that's never expected is joy.
Interesting.
They get more joy because it's fun to grow and develop and learn about ourselves. And when we step into our power, there's just a feeling that we haven't had before. And it's just fun work. It can be. It's not easy, but it's really fun. And so they often have more joy because they're doing more of what they want.
Let me ask you, Jen, obviously the past has led you where you are today. Share with me a little bit what you're seeing for the future in this year.
Yeah, the Radiant Leader is something that I'm creating, and it really is this unique intersection of leadership and spirituality. I find that a lot of us are really seeking and yearning for more meaning in our life and in our work. And so this is a program that helps people connect both their leadership and their careers with their deep meaning and purpose of their life. So I'm excited to share this.
That is kind of neat. I would think people, after they've gone to certain levels of success, they start wondering, what am I going to leave behind? What is the purpose of me even being here outside of my career, outside of what I'm doing? Is that what you kind of experience?
It is, and a lot of what I do is help individuals create their leadership legacy. That is thinking about the future and imagining what is it that you want to leave behind. What kind of leader do you want to be? And then we do the work now to help them become that radiant leader who is leaving this legacy that they're really proud of.
Speaking of looking to the future, every year we sit down January 1st looking at the new year. Share with me the download that you make available now for folks.
Yeah, it's called Dream Your Year. It's something that I've done every year for about 10 years. And it's a chance for me to reflect on the year that's passed and then dream about the year that's coming and then plan it. I think most of us skip over the dreaming. We go from reflection to planning, and it's very tactical and mechanical. But what I encourage people to do is really step into the dreaming and the possibility and then create plans out of that. So it's called Dream Your Year.
Kind of like your balance. Safe place to think about the past, yet a bold move is to dream about what can be. I think that's exciting. Viewers, let's take a look at the bottom of the screen right there. What you're going to see is our website. On the website, you can see all the experiences you can choose from. Elevated Leader Program, coaching membership, or as a group in her Radiant Leader community. Read the testimonials right there online, then schedule a call today. Once again, that is Jen Porter. Elevate your leadership and step into your leadership power. This is Gary Atencio with CNTV. And if you don't know, now you know.